No, I think we're good. Then we'll have a break for about 10 minutes so you can refill your coffee, water, have a toilet break, whatever. Then I'm going to ask a couple of our sponsors just to give us updates on what they're doing. They'll get a couple minutes each just to share with us any insights or anything that's going on that might be important to know about what's happening out there in the world. Then we'll have our second segment from Dilek, and she's going to speak a bit more specifically on referral partners and how to build referral relationships, particularly in this time. I think this is a great opportunity to do that. And then finally, we'll just have a wrap up, and I might just take everybody off mute and you can just have a free for all with the comments. So let me, that's it, I think, for the, let me just see if I have any more slides. Oh, well, if you're not a member yet, there you go, member benefits. I think everyone knows that. So there's probably a few people in here that may not be members yet. Happy to have you in the webinar today. And obviously we will get back to normal at some point. So please do consider having a membership. It is now a not calendar year, it's a rolling membership. So if you joined in June or July, your renewal wouldn't come up until that following June or July. And that's it for the slides. So let me just kill that one and check to see whether anyone's put any answers in our thing. Here. Okay, whose hand is up? Whose hand was up? Bruce, you had your hand up. Anyone else have their hand up? Bruce, you're unmuted. Go for it, buddy.
Well, I actually sent a reply back. Just type one in. That was my hand up from before. I finally got the pictures up on the screen, by the way.
Okay, good. All right, cool. I'll lower it. Sorry, I put you back on mute. I'll lower your hand then. Okay, let's see. What do we have? Let me just have a quick look through this. Got some weekly stuff going out. Let's actually, Steve, I'm going to take you off mute, bud. Why don't you share with us a little bit about the phone calls that you're having with people? You're on, bud. Okay. Take it away.
So basically, I've just been sort of starting in the database and calling people up, having chats with them, just letting them know that I'm still alive. You get to this age and people start to have their doubts. And I get more just asking them how they are, how they're coping, working from home, surviving. I actually had a brilliant idea this morning when this is all over. I thought I might actually start a travel agency, and the idea would be that I would offer trips to the Antarctic for all the wives and trips to the Arctic for all the husbands. And I suggested that to my wife, and she said it's not far enough apart.
SpaceX is now, organizing trips to Mars, so that might be a one-way ticket for you.
Yeah. I think the women would send their husbands to Mars. I think that would be quite on the cards.
Cool. Thank you.
The other thing I'm doing is with Facebook. I'm getting a lot of traction with Facebook. I've contacted a number of my recently settled clients and just asked them if they would put a review up on Facebook for me. I know some of you have seen those reviews. I'm getting some fabulous hits on those. People are seeing them, and I actually have a new referrer, and one of the clients he sent me, I was talking to yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, and he said that when he read that review from one of my clients, that was the reason why he decided to stick with me. Having spoken to another mortgage broker in the past, when he read that review, he said, no, I'm going to stay with you. So that's just something that I think is powerful as well. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now, Sarah, where is Sarah? Put your hand up, Sarah Griffiths. Where were you? Actually raise your hand so I can see you. Oh, there you go. You're on, Sarah. Sorry. So you're doing video conference calls. How's that going?
Good. Yeah, we've got Teams on our Outlook. So I know that not everyone obviously has a video on their laptop, but even if they don't, you can just, do audio. And it's really nice to catch up with people on a one-on-one basis, doing a video conference call. In regards to, I just had one on Monday, and it was lovely just to have a catch up and seeing how they're staying sane through this and share some ideas in regards to that, even if it's just non-business related. It's just nice to touch base with other people that way.
And are you finding that it's pretty easy? People are pretty au fait with the technology, or they're getting it on? Yeah, good.
Well, this was Zoom. I mean, I don't have Zoom loaded on my laptop, but you just press the link and ta-da. So yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and it goes. It works. Awesome. Thank you very much. Back on mute you go. What else we got here? Let's see. What else do we have? Navjeet, where's Navjeet? Where are you? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Is he? No, he's not got a video. I'm going to take you off mute. Tell us, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? No? Navjeet? No, he's not there. Okay, I will see what else we got here. Deposit Assure. Let's hear from Deposit Assure. Where are you? There you are. Hello, hello.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well.
So what are you guys doing? You're doing a lot of phone calls, Zoom meetings, offering support, you create an infographic. What's the infographic all about?
Yeah, so the infographic is actually in regards to the government's response to the COVID-19 with individuals. So we've created this infographic for our customers to share, sorry, our brokers to share with their customers, or even onto their social media. So it highlights the different packages that are available and how they can be eligible, and then how they can apply as well. So we've already started to see some of the brokers share it on their social media and directly with their clients. And I'll be more than happy to send everyone a copy post our meeting if that helps.
Perfect. That'd be great. Yeah, flick it to me and we can send it out to everyone.
Fantastic.
And by the way, guys, thanks for that. I'm just gonna put you back on mute. By the way, guys, I am recording this, so I don't know how big the file will end up being, but we'll certainly get it up on the website, so anyone can go back and review things that they find interesting. Let's hear from, where's Warren? Warren, there you are. You're on the air, buddy.
I'm on the air. Oh dear. Okay, I better watch my language. PJ, thank you for the host of this program.
You're welcome.
As I said in my my little notes to you, obviously being in the property game where people are settling and feeling very anxious about tenancy and employed tenants, I much like Steve like to use the telephone. I like to be able to comfort the client as to where they are. I mean, we go through the worst case scenarios at the beginning of the process anyway. So I am doing, I don't think I've done more Zoom meetings in my life, I have to say. Touch wood, things are going very, very well. We haven't had any clients who have not been able to settle. We haven't had any properties that we haven't been able to rent. And so I have to say that we're trying to have the information coming from our investor panel of BIS Oxford Economics and SGS Economics, BCI Economics, and from Professor Fisher at Sydney Uni, trying to keep some calm in terms of education. Everybody thinks property is just going to plummet. And it's very, very important to be able to focus on the facts at hand of which properties are going to plummet and which properties aren't. So PJ, I think I don't think I've ever spent as much time on the telephone every day.
Good.
And the Zoom meetings have worked really, really well, really well. We're thankfully, touch wood, we've been busy, which is great. And not just trying to comfort people, but to have people that are keen to say, look, my shares are just driving me mad. What can I look at in terms of property? So we're very blessed that we're quite busy. So I can't complain.
All right. Thank you very much, Warren. And actually, that's an interesting, thanks for all that commentary, by the way. I appreciate that. That is something, too, that in the chat box, guys, and I'll look at it after the meeting a bit more closely. But if you do have things that you want us to cover, I could get David Bassanese, the economist back from Beta Shares, to maybe join us and do an update, things like that. So if there's something that you feel would add value to you, your clients, or anything, and we need to bring in a resource, this is a fantastic, we got 38 people on this call right now, and this is a fantastic platform to do that. So let's burn it into Michelle's time. So Michelle, are you ready to go? Give me the thumbs up to give us a little industry update. So you're on, hang on, you're not unmuted. Do you have,
I'm unmuted.
there you go. You're unmuted
I'm
now.
unmuted.
Go for
Woo!
it. So we're going to have a little industry update from Michelle. So fire away.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's hanging in there. Just a quick update. I'm not going to go into it because I'm sure you've heard from your aggregators. I'm sure you've heard from many meetings like Warren said. So I'm going to give you a very high touch level on some of the things that are happening that I'm aware of. Everybody's aware that with COVID and everything, sorry, I'm just trying to find my little list here because I didn't have it up ready. Yeah, so everybody's aware at the moment that things are a little bit uncertain. In terms of COVID, everybody knows where to get their updates in with regards to the scheme, because there is a list of lenders. I believe there's 22 lender list. So if anyone doesn't have that, I'm happy to send it through, but I'm sure that you've got all the correct links from your aggregators and support people. With regards to credit files and Equifax, for example, everybody's aware that during this time with credit reporting, if you're, we've got a contact list here that I got from somebody else. So if anybody doesn't have that PJ, I don't know, maybe we can send it out after the meeting, but it's a full list of all the lenders and their hardship numbers. So if anyone doesn't have it, let us know and we can send it through. But it's a really good point of reference in terms of encouraging your clients to make sure that if they are in trouble or if they are falling a bit behind, just to get in contact with their lender, because at the end of the day, they won't get defaulted, they won't have, and lenders, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that if they're constantly in contact with the lender, they should have a clear credit file at the end of it. And if they have to go into hardship, they can make their agreements directly with the lenders. So just keep constant contact and you'll be fine. As for all the deferred lender payments, all the big fours are doing it. It was just announced recently that they're going to be cutting back to their minimum repayments. Obviously, certain lenders are going to do certain things, so always check with them anyway. But yeah, there's plenty of support out there anyway. Just a couple of what do you call it? Tips. That's the word I was looking for. What I wanted to share was, now's the time if you don't know, and if Dilek's probably better to talk about this one, but in terms of ID, you know, there's a lot of apps online that we can use. Most lenders are already offering. There's probably about 15 lenders out there that accept the app IDs. My ID, what else is there? There's a bit of a list of them. Each one will have their own. Some might not use it, so double check again with your BDM. But in terms of being able to go and ID your clients, it's a tricky one. So just again, check with your lender. In terms of NCCP and responsible lending guidelines. So everybody is aware that the government's made a temporary change amendment to the NCCP when it comes to compliance. And I've got my reference point here. As of the 2nd of April, basically, it's basically regarding ACL holders and report, like their compliance reporting. So they're basically going to relax or exempt some brokers from responsible lending compliance reporting when it comes to small business customers. All right, so I will send, I think I've sent that through as well, PJ, but I'll send it again as a reference point if nobody has the details on it. But it's usually regarding SME and business clients existing. If you want clarity around that, we can give you that as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, oh dear, should have had my list with me. Give me 1 minute. SLA and valuation delays and managing expectations for your clients. At the end of the day, we know there's going to be some delays. I'm sure everybody's already noticing those. With regards to SLAs, most lenders will have their turnaround times on there. So just double check them. I was actually going to compile a little list for everybody, but I didn't get to it in time. So, and valuations, obviously there's going to be a few delays there as well. So just manage your clients' expectations with regards to that and your own. We need to be patient at the moment with this time. Everybody's doing their best, as you know. The other thing was the CPD.
CPD, that's it, yep.
The one. Thanks. Thank you, PJ. CPD point. So obviously with all the meetings online, keep your registers up to date. All right. Don't get complacent because if you don't write them down now, you'll forget. Trust me, I know. So keep your registers ready, and I think FBAA and MFAA have their ways of recording them if you don't have the CPD1 or some CPD program that you use in your CRMs. And the other thing I wanted to mention was just quickly, oh God, I forgot. Anyway, all right, moving on. I think that's all I've really got at the moment. Yes, that's it, FBAA and MFAA. Just double check on their websites as well. Or they've got heaps of links. If anybody needs a go-to place of where to find anything, I'm happy to help anybody that needs help. But FBAA are also freezing their membership fees, I believe, for a period of 3 to 6 months, somewhere around there. So just I suggest you head to their website and have a quick check on that one, because that might save you some money.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Michelle. Does anyone have any questions for Michelle on anything she's just said? Either put your hand up or
Send it in the chat.
yeah, drop it in the chat. And just quickly, while you're thinking of that, anyone that's just joined us, thank you and welcome to our first online meeting. If you could turn your video on, guys, that would be awesome. I just want to make sure you're actually, not signing on and then buggering off to, the backyard to do some gardening or something.
Sorry, PJ, can I interrupt?
Of course.
Yes. I just wanted to reiterate that VMG point that John made. Thank you, John. Zip ID was the one I was thinking of. My ID, Zip ID, and I think there's another couple of other ones. Sorry to interrupt there.
No, that's okay. Now, I thought I would also, because we've got a few more minutes before I bring on the lovely Delectable, and I thought I would just share. I'm sure everyone's probably on top of this, but let me just jump into a share. Hopefully my screen has popped up. This is the Treasury's website here. They have a COVID, whole thing on the Treasury website with all of their different support packages and stuff. So I think if you click on each of these individually, I've grabbed all this stuff and done a special page on my website, but I think if you click on these, then you get all of the various links to the programs and so forth. So if you weren't aware of that, that's just treasury.gov.au. And then from the homepage there, you can get to that stuff. So you could even just send these links out to your clients, frankly, and in an email, and just say, hey guys, here's some stuff for you to do. So do we have any questions? Let's go back to our full screen here and see what, I can stop my share. And I did find that list, Michelle, by the way, that you sent through. So I have got that, and I'll make sure that gets up on the website for everyone. Now, did we have any hands up? Do we have any hands up? Put your hands up, guys. No, nothing? Put your hands up in the air. All good? All right. Peter's gone walkabout. Great. Okay. Well, Dilek, where are you? Where are you? Wave or something. Where are you, Dilek? Your video's not on, Dilek. There you are. Oh, look at this. I've got the power to unmute you. So you're unmuted. So if you're ready to go, Dilek, why don't we get started on our next segment, which is how to stand out as a trusted advisor during this crisis. I am on the edge of my seat, Dilek. Take it away.
Okay, the last few slides I was fine tuning, so I'll just ad lib at the end. Okay, hope everyone's doing okay. I'm actually going to share my screen now. Where am I? Share screen. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Here we go.
Not seeing it yet, but have you gone down to the share screen at the bottom of Zoom?
Yeah, hang on a sec. I just clicked it. Oh, here we go. All
There
right.
we go.
All
Got
right.
it.
Here we go. All righty. I called it COVID crisis. What I wanted to talk about is basically the first thing is positive mindset. If you're not feeling positive yourself, you're not going to be able to help your clients in the right way. So the first thing you have to do is decide how are you going to present yourself to the world. The second one is get in the know. If you don't know enough about what's going on, then you're not going to be able to help your clients in the right way. Then we look at existing clients, what you do for them. Asking for referrals, I touch on that briefly, and then later today we're going to do actual referral partnerships. Creating content that's useful. Everyone's already talked a bit about doing things online. Not everyone's up to speed with that, and it's actually quite easy. So many people are doing that now, and it's not hard at all. So you can even practice with your friends if you have to. And then how to use social media effectively, and you've already heard that some people are already getting amazing results from that. So here we go. Alrighty, now this is your time to shine. A lot of people are in doom and gloom and they're confused, they don't know what's going on, they don't know what to do. You could come in and step in as a hero. I've said that before about mortgage brokers, that you should see yourself as a hero helping people. Now is like the perfect time to take on that role. So positive mindset. Fear or opportunity. How are you on that side of, which side of the fence are you on? Are you buying into all this fear, the fake news, the negativity? Or are you looking at this as an opportunity to actually help your clients and stand out in the marketplace and be a beacon of positivity? I'm going to share some of the positive news stories instead of all the crappy ones so that you have a starting point. And the more good news you share out there, the more you're going to stand out in a sea of negativity. I don't know about you guys, but I keep getting bombarded by negative stuff all the time. And I have a few friends in particular who keep sending me crappy articles and I'm just ignoring them. I'm not saying stick your head in the sand and ignore it and be positive even when, like, be happy even when someone's struggling, have empathy, but overall, try and stay positive. So how do you stay positive is sharing good news and believing it yourself. If you don't believe it, it's going to come across unauthentic. So good news, Australia is one of the safest countries in the world to be in right now. So woo. I have a lot of friends that came back from America because that's a bit more scary there at the moment. But Australia is pretty safe. And if you look at the numbers, we're doing amazingly well. The recovery rates are amazing. The death rates are actually similar to the flu. I'm not downplaying that it's a pandemic and how dangerous it is. Of course it's dangerous, but I don't think we need to panic and have the fear mongering that we are. And in Australia, we tend to bounce back a lot quicker than some of the other countries in the world. If you look at property prices, share markets, we tend to bounce back pretty well. Like, you know, the forecast is the impact will be up to 6 months or more, but we're actually going to be okay. That's what I feel. And this is all temporary. So yes, there are some businesses that have had to close down. The government support is helping some stay afloat in the interim. But what's actually going to happen, that some of the industries that have been affected, there's going to be a bit of a stampede at the end. Like, how many people need to go to the hairdresser? How many people miss going to their beauty therapist? How many people miss going out and having a drink or going out for a good meal? So this is all temporary. So that's the good news. It's not forever. So the doom and gloom, the naysayers, they're all like, oh, this is going to last 6 months. The lockdown is not going to be for 6 months. Anyway, That's what I'm predicting. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Alrighty, so now that we know there's a lot of good news to share, go out there and share it. Whenever you see a good news article or good statistics, the curve being flattened, well, there's so much good data out there. If you're lost for ideas, just Google good news COVID Australia. That simple. Alrighty, get in the know. So there are lots of different confusing information pieces out there. At the beginning, even I was confused because I was like, okay, so what would I qualify for and how does it all work? And, you know, what are the different options available to me as a business owner? So there's a lot of confusion and I'm quite well informed and even I was confused. So the average person on the street is going to know way less than you do. So if you can get in the know and actually understand what the help is, what the rules are, what the impact is, and as Michelle mentioned, there are lots of different things available where it's not going to affect your credit rating. So you really need to know your stuff. You can't advise people unless you know what's going on. And it's not hard to stay up to date. PJ had mentioned the New South Wales Treasury has a site. Your lenders and aggregators are pumping out content that you can use. Our own sponsor, Your Money Managers, is doing webinars. Meridian is doing webinars on property. So there's no shortage of information out there that's going to help you get up to speed with what's going on. Alrighty, so what can you do with your existing clients? Well, as you know, every time I present, I'm like, get in touch with your existing clients, know your clients, analyze your database, grade your database, all that stuff that I talk about throughout the year. This is a perfect time to do it, and you've probably got a bit more time to do it now anyway. So review and analyze your database and categorize them. Group them. Who's a business owner? Who's an employee? Who's got property? Who's in an industry that's impacted? Like, actually put some thought into it rather than just pumping out information willy-nilly. So this is the time to do customized communications, and you're going to get a lot more traction doing that than just general info and waffle that no one's going to listen to. So if I'm a business owner and there's something about employees, I'm just going to be like, that's not relating to me. So you need to really be very specific. The more time you spend on the preparation, the easier it's going to be to actually do something or actually implement it. So once you've categorized who your clients are and where they're at, have a think about what they're going through. Put yourself in their shoes. I say that a lot. So you say to yourself, okay, if I'm an employee and I'm in an industry that is affected, what could I be thinking right now? What kind of thought processes and emotions are happening? If I'm a business owner, what am I thinking? What am I doing? So the more you can understand and empathize with your clients, the better solutions you can come up with. So there are many ways of contacting them, and PJ had run a webinar about communicating with your clients. So I definitely recommend you watch that. This is just a brief overview, so have a look at that. But basically, as a starting point, as a minimum, you should be emailing them. And if you've got a database set up and you've categorized them, you can send out specific emails to each group. That's what I recommend. It doesn't take that long. Your CRM system pretty much does it for you. All you have to come up with is a bit of content for each stream of communication that you're going to do. Text message. People really downplay the importance of text messages. It's still one of the most effective ways of communicating because the open rates in emails have gone down. If they're an existing client, it's probably way higher than usual. However, when it's a text message, it's got like an open rate of over 90%. So even if you sent them a text message saying, hey, just checking in how you're doing, I've sent you an email. That way, you don't have to even say that much in the text message. Or even something like, I'm here to help you. If you want anything clarified about what's going on and how it affects you, give me a call, or whatever your preferred call to action is. So it's not hard at all. And again, with the text messages, you can actually generally do them through your CRM system. I know ActiveCampaign has a function that you can build in, and there is a monthly charge, but it's totally worth it. It just makes it easier. You don't want to sit there messaging everyone individually. And then, I think SurveyMonkey might as well, but most of them have that option. If your CRM doesn't have that option, you can actually go into one that just does text message blasts. Again, there's a cost involved, but it's pittance, like $30 a month or something like that. A lot of people mention group online meetings. So what you could do is, if you've got business owners as clients, run a specific webinar and invite just your business clients along. And the good thing is, even if not many people show up, you can record it and then send it out to all your clients who weren't, send out the replay. And that way, it's another point of communication with your clients, which is awesome. It shows that you're being proactive and not just sitting there ignoring people. So the group online meetings are amazing. And then phone calls. If you see that one of your clients might be in trouble, like they're in hospitality or they've got a cafe that's about to shut down, actually give them a call and see how you can help. The thing about all this confusion as well that I've noticed is it's very hard to see when you qualify for this one or that one, or what the impact will be. Like what the impact will be freezing your mortgage repayments versus not freezing them. Is this a good time to refinance? This should actually be an amazing time for you to contact your clients to get them to refinance to a cheaper rate. So now you've got a really good excuse, because everyone wants to save money right now. And if they're in a job that could be impacted later on, you may as well refinance them now while they've still got the income and the employment. So this is a really good time to say, hey, you're in this industry, you don't know what's happening, so now's a good time to do it while you can. You don't want to miss out. So that should be a big opportunity for you. And like I said, if you call specific people, I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Alrighty. So I'm going to go back to, okay, so with the helpful content, I've gone through this before. In terms of the kind of communications you can put out, there's so much you can do. So much you can do on social media and emails and content. Basically, you can create an ebook. So I had written notes here. It's not on my slides, so apologies, but it's not on my slide. Oh my God, my phone battery's low and it's not charging. Oh, I hope it lasts. Okay, so basically, where is it? Sorry. Okay, so in terms of content, you can start off with questions like, what should you do if, and then give them a scenario that's specific to them. How to, and then it could be like how to get the best grant, or how to make you solve this option. The biggest mistakes when, and it could be the biggest mistake you could be making if you freeze your mortgage repayments. And then it could be the truth about, and then actually give them some insights that they may not know about. And then know the facts before you, whatever it is. I'm happy to add this to the slides later before we send it out. And just know that basically, because more people are at home, they're consuming more things online. So you've got more chance of people actually reading your stuff than ever before. Online consumption's gone up by 70%. Which is huge. So now's the time to be out there pumping out content. Now, in terms of asking for referrals, this is an easy one, because when you've communicated with your existing clients, you could say to them, do you have any friends or family who are also having problems that I could help? So it's an awesome way of getting a referral just by offering to help, being that hero. And you can say to them, there's no obligation, I just want to help everybody. I want to help as many people as I can. So that's going to be received really well. If you're seen to be helping everybody, then you're going to have loyal clients that are going to rave about you forever. If you've helped them through a tough process and a tough period, they'll never go anywhere else. So that's the kind of thing you need to be thinking about. You can even send out some funny things like add some humor, like isolation survival tips, and just put in some funny things about parenting, and working from home. And, even on social media, you can put some things up with memes like, I've seen one that's really funny about when it's audio Zoom versus video Zoom. How true is that? When I'm doing audio Zoom, I'm in my pajamas. When I'm on camera, oh. So add some humor into it as well. Like it's good to add humor. So asking for referrals is going to be the easiest time ever. And then I've mentioned creating content and live videos. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. So in terms of Facebook Lives, LinkedIn Lives, I've been doing more the Facebook ones, but you can do LinkedIn as well, obviously. I'm going to tell you a little story which will help you think about going outside the box, going outside the square. It doesn't have to be just about work. So I'll give you a story. I love dancing, and I was getting pretty bored with isolation because there's no socializing. So I decided, just for fun, to set up a women's Facebook group with a dance challenge. And I actually said, whoever gets the most likes or loves at the end of the 30 days, I'm going to give them a $100 PayPal voucher. I'm just going to pay it out of my pocket just to have a bit of fun. And within a week, within a few days, I got about 20 members, and people started inviting other people. And then within a week, I've now got 50 people. And then some of my friends are inviting hundreds of their own friends as well. Now, not everyone's joining, but now all of a sudden, I'd say, actually, when I looked at the data, I think I got 1.6 thousand views of one of the videos at one stage, because people who are invited can still see preview the content if they know the person. So that's been significant. That was totally unexpected. I've now got, like I said, 50 plus members. Not everyone's participating, but they're all having fun, and so many people have messaged me saying, thank you so much for setting this up. I really needed this. It's helped me through a really tough time. And I've had fun doing it. It's forced me to actually get dressed during the day. It's helped me stay fit, and it really showed me the power of groups and doing something just for fun and to help other people out. So have a think about your own hobbies, and think about, it could be anything random. Like that's the great thing about Facebook groups, is that it could be a random niche and you'll have a bunch of people who want to be part of it. So think outside the box, think outside the square, and go, how can I help people in a fun way and grow this audience? And I'm just doing it for the fun of it. Now, my one actually snowballed because it turns out I know a lot of dance instructors and professional dancers. So now I've actually got some of them in the group, and they're going to run dance classes as well. So in true Dilek style, it's kind of snowballed into something bigger. And we're actually going to use it to launch an online dance class series for one of the instructors. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to sell anything, so I may as well turn it into something for someone else. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And with social media, it's so easy. If you don't have content, share someone else's content, as long as it's not a competitor. Look at what other people are doing. As you know, I never advocate copying ever. But you can get inspiration from other people. Look at the lenders, look at the aggregators, look at all the content. Content is actually the easiest thing in the world if you focus on that, you know, that's what you're going to do. The other thing is, now's a good time to plan out your marketing. So, you know, I talk about marketing strategy all the time. Now's a great time, in between the calls and the emails, when you have a bit of time, to start reading and planning and really looking at what you want in your business. The clearer you get, the easier it is to come up with the implementation for it. So what can you do? There's a book that I have mentioned once before. It's called The One-Page Marketing Plan. And I think it's Alan Dibbs. That's a really good one to read because it does cover a lot of what I've talked about. And I've mentioned it before. I can give you a snapshot of the cover later on if you like. So what I wanted to do now is, does anyone have any questions about what I've covered so far? Yes, Warren.
Hang on just one second. Let me grab back to my full screen here.
I'm trying to charge my phone, but for some reason it's not working. So if it does cut out, I do apologize. I'll find a way of getting back.
Just give me 1 second here, and
I've covered the main parts of the presentation. So if it does cut out, I'll charge it a bit more before my next session on referral partnerships. All right,
so
Warren, take it away.
I'm just looking for Warren. Hang on a minute. I will do something different. I will just give everybody the power to unmute themselves. So use it wisely, kids. How do I do that?
No stampede.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 sec. This is expand. Sorry, unmute. Let me go to allow you. Okay, you all have the power. I think, Warren, you're up. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Yes, I can. Thanks, PJ. I just wanted to back up Dilek's conversation about what comes out of trying to help people. Needless to say, we have investors who are about to settle who have been or would be freaking out about tenancy. And so we got on the front foot before they were sitting there waiting for the settlement to happen and for the tenancy to take place, to get on the front foot and speak to the property managers, find out what the interest rate was, interest in terms of rental. Were there going to be people trying to get things slashed and prices slashed? And what came out of it was the ability to really comfort them, give them the facts as to what's going down, why there's not going to be any rental slashes in those particular areas for the right reasons of selection in the first place. But from that, I mean, I know this week alone, I've got 3 leads from it, but just people saying, oh, you know, thanks so much for that, Warren, really appreciate it. My brother was looking for a property. Is this a good time to be buying property? And so from that, I was able to get 3 leads by just putting my arms around them, letting them know things are going to be okay. This is what's going to happen with your property. And thankfully at this point, I don't know, Michelle, if you're finding any changes in valuations or anything scary. We've had our sites that have come to market, value at purchase price, which has been wonderful, and have rented for precisely what we thought they were going to rent for. But getting on the blower and speaking to the clients, giving them a hug, has led to new business. So you're right.
Fantastic. It's exactly what I was talking about. Just by being there to help them, look at the amazing positive karma in a way.
Yeah, I mean, look, these are people that are in a heightened state of anxiety, as you say, when you're looking at the news. You know, Rachel Logie from BIS Oxford Economics sent us a slide recently, or did a whole conversation with her, but the slide of which industries have been impacted and which industries haven't been impacted. We would never believe the amount of industries that have not been impacted, or indeed those which are flourishing. We would think everything's been impacted. Whereas, as you say, you know, what has been impacted is the things that we really love, enjoy, and do in our lives. You know, we love going to sport, we love going out to restaurants, we love travel. These are industries that have been absolutely hammered. So we're thinking they're every industry, but they're not. There are industries that are flourishing, and the vast majority of industries have in fact not been affected directly by the COVID-19, but we wouldn't believe that. So keeping people calm, feeding them the facts, showing them what the experts are saying, letting them know that things are going to be okay, has led to referrals. Fabulous. So Dilek is 100% correct.
Thank you. So
Fantastic. Who just sneezed?
Bless you.
Jiminy Christmas. All right.
Lucky we're not.
I need to turn down my headphone sound. Now, does anyone else have any questions? Does anyone else say, now, if just because you have the ability to be unmuted, don't unmute yourself, right? Unless you have something to say. Otherwise, we get that, you know, I feel like I need to get a Kleenex and wipe my face, even though I'm, you know, probably halfway across Sydney from whoever just sneezed. I felt it. So guys, just keep yourself muted. Any other questions for Alvin? What did you just have a swim, bud? You're back on the beach. So guys, any other questions for Dilek at this stage? And Dilek, I've got to say, I'm going to be a little bit harsh on you here. I'm disappointed, right? Like you always say to me, I need more time. I need more time. I need more time. And you didn't use up all your time. Come on, you're letting me down. You're letting the team down.
I can say a bit more about keeping yourself positive because.
Well, hang on. You just disappeared. You're back. What I'd like to do, any other questions from our members? That's what I really want to do, is get people asking questions here, guys. Don't be shy. Take yourself off mute. Ask Dilek a question. Put her on the spot. Now's your chance to do that.
Thanks, TJ.
I'm about to mute you, Dilek. You better be careful. Now, as you guys are contemplating possible questions, I have thrown a question into the chat, which I'd like you guys to contemplate during the break, which will be coming up in 10 minutes. And it's just a question about how you guys think this might change our industry. Questions for Dilek. Put your hand up. Just raise your hand. I'm looking for any raised hands. No raised hands.
We don't have any bidders.
No bid. We've gone no bid. All right. Cool. Dilek, you said you had some other things you might want to say? Dilek? She looks like she might have frozen. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, there you're back.
Alrighty, so what I'm going to talk about is how to keep yourself positive, because as you all know, I'm a fairly positive person, and the first few weeks, I was actually affected crappy news about, you know, the share market and what's happening overseas and all the fear mongering that was happening. There was actually fake media coming out of proper media channels. They were using photos in different articles and sharing, like, they're just doing silly things. So it's no wonder that people actually did start getting very down and depressed and anxious. So in terms of how you're going to keep yourself positive, I think this is a good time to really get outdoors. I'm actually sitting near the beach right now. So be mindful of your own mental health at this point in time, because
Alvin is at the beach, Dilek.
Yeah.
He's one-upped you. Looks like he's in Fiji.
Yeah, so this is a good time to actually take some time out for yourself and your family. If your family's the one actually causing you, you know, causing you grief and you want to run out and run away, go and take a walk and come back, it'll be nicer.
You know, I actually want to I'm going to mute you for a second. I want to grab Zarko for a minute there, bud, and just I'm going to unmute you. My question for you is, what sort of because that's a real important point that Dilek has just raised, and that is something that, you know, being sequestered at home can certainly drive you nuts, particularly if you have kids running around. Has the MFAA been getting any or hearing any feedback around the mental health side of things? I mean, what's the general vibe and feel out there for the industry at the moment, from your perspective?
So the vibe of the industry is we're seen as a caregiver at the moment. So if you feel that in your skill set, you're still lacking in terms of the skills to deal with that responsibility, which you haven't really put your hand up for, but it's almost been by default, you've become a counsellor, for want of a better word. The MFAA does have resources for you to utilise. So if you haven't already done so, I really recommend that you register and take part in the MFAA accidental counsellor workshops that are running at the moment. So we have partnered with Lifeline, which is a not-for-profit organisation I'm sure is familiar with you. And over the course of 2.5 hours, these workshops will arm you with tips, techniques, and tools you can use to actually cope with sometimes the burden that's placed on you by your clients, by your referrals, and by the environment you're in. So you're not alone. I think PJ makes a very good point. This is a great time to reach out to your associations and utilise these resources. So if you just Google MFAA Accidental Counsellor, you'll come up with a list of the available events. We still have events in the calendar scheduled to run. We've already run 6 events and there's more to come. And there are spots available. So if you haven't already done so, utilise those resources. Now, more generally, I had the privilege of speaking with members yesterday and on Wednesday to deliver the good news that they were a finalist for the MFAA State Excellence Awards. Everyone I spoke to has never been busier. Now, admittedly, they are the elite of our industry, so most usually the elite get nods for these awards. But by the by, people are busy because we are an essential service at this time. Back to you, PJ.
Awesome. Thank you, Zarko. That's a wonderful recap. And thank you for reminding us about the accidental counselor webinars you guys are running. Is there a question on that? Is there anything that is being recorded and put on the member section of the MFAA website around any of those webinars? Are you on mute? No, hang on, you're on mute. Wait a second, unmute yourself. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Sorry, I don't know why you're not unmuted. Hang on a minute. There you go. You're on.
Thank you, PJ. Yeah, we will put resources on the website once the series finishes. So
Okay.
at the moment, like in any entertainment business, you don't give away for free what you are currently charging for. So there is a
Sure.
cost for the workshops. So once the workshops have run their schedule, yeah, there will be resources on the calendar.
Awesome.
On the My Resources section.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, did anyone else have their hand up? Anyone have their hand up? No. Any other questions, guys, for Dilek? And Dilek, I'll unmute you now too. I think everyone probably still has the power to do that. Did you have any closing thoughts in the last few minutes before we have a short break?
Yes, just that, like everyone's been saying, that there are lots of resources out there. So, you know, there's plenty for you to research and watch and read. So don't feel like you don't have any support or help. And, you know, the steering committee, full of amazing people. So if you get really stuck, you could always reach out to one of them. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're of course part of your, hopefully part of your family, the extended Broking family here in Sydney and around Australia. I don't know that we've got anyone tuning in from Queensland or anywhere else, but certainly, you know, I don't want to put words in the rest of the steering committee's mouths, but I'm confident that if anyone here had a concern about anything, you know how to find us and reach us. We would be more than happy to have a conversation with you. But there's certainly a lot of people in this very chat room who would be more than happy to take your call and listen to anything that might be going on in your life. So awesome, Dilek. Okay, well, in the last couple of minutes, just before we have a quick break, I just thought I would, for those of you that didn't know or did not attend the short webinar that I did on my communication hacks with clients, I think that's now available in the members section. And it had a couple of really good hacks in there for you guys, particularly on Zoom and using Loom as well, communicating with clients. One of the reasons I asked that question in the chat room a moment ago about how do you think this is going to change your industry is I actually believe that this is a moment where we can now pivot from having to be that person that shows up in the evening at the client's house to now having it quite acceptable to say to the person, look, let's just do an online Zoom meeting or let's meet online or something like that. And people will now all of a sudden be very used to that. That way of doing business with a lot of services is now going to be mainstream. So it could be that opportunity to leverage even as a mortgage broker, your time a bit more effectively. I'm loving it. I think it's great. So please do check those communication hacks if you didn't get that. All right. Well, Dilek, thank you very much for that very insightful. I can't wait for part 2. And I am expecting you to use up all your time. So you have about 10 minutes. Actually, you have 20 minutes to add a few more slides if you need to. So I'll put you on mute. You can also hide your video so you can run off and do that. But guys, have about a 10-minute break. We will look to start again at 11:40 on the dot. Excuse me, 11:40 on the dot. And I'll invite a couple of our sponsors to just give us an update on what they're doing. I've got the Credit Fix guys who are going to give us a little update. I'm very curious to hear what they have to say about what's going on, particularly around payment pauses and things like that. John from Victoria Mortgage Group is going to say a few words, and we might also have Rocco join us. I'm not sure about him. So anyway, guys, have a 10-minute break, toilet break, coffee break, etc. I'll leave everything on. What I'll actually do is I will just allow everyone to unmute themselves. And if you want to hang out in the room and have a chat, by all means, just try not to talk over each other and, you know, have a complete chaotic time. So anyway, guys, 10-minute break. Here we go.
some things down that I'd like to speak about today. How much time do I have, PJ?
I'll give you 3 minutes. How's that?
All right, that sounds good.
Talk fast.
I'll jump straight into it. I'll jump straight into it. Moving forward with your clients, at the moment, all our contact has been through various technologies. And it's very important to keep in touch with your database. And now your database, of course, is your clients, but this information that I'm about to give you now should be very useful to send out to your family and friends through social media postings or emails, or with whatever way that you normally make contact with these people. So the first thing is that hardship and putting a stop to your current mortgages or car loans or personal loans or credit cards is not an automatic thing. So although the banks are offering that, don't expect it to be automatic. What is automatic is that you will be listed as being late on a particular payment. That's the only automatic thing there is. So you need to advise all your clients, family and friends. They need to make contact with the banks and apply for deferrals. It's not an automatic thing. Now,
so just before you go on, I want to be clear on that, what you're saying. So it sounds like what you're saying is that don't automatically expect that the lender is going to give you a pause. You do need to contact them and say, you need to pause me. And in so doing, that will prevent a black mark being put on
that
your
is
credit
correct.
file. Is that right?
That is
Okay,
correct.
cool.
It'll prevent the adverse listing so far as late payments are concerned.
Okay.
The late payment is very important. You'll see the numbers on your report, 1, 2, 3. Each one of them correlates to a month or 2 months or 3 months late. So it is very important. It's not automated. People still do need to call the banks. Now, the banks are being so busy, they may not answer. Lenders may not answer, but you need to leave a message. You need to try again. You need to send an email. Now, moving forward, if people are affected, you know, there may be leniency in the future, saying, you know what, you did go through this, you didn't know how to, you didn't know how to act, things were unsettling at the time, you know, we'll reverse this for you. But that could take, you know, up to 90 days or more to rectify in the future. So to avoid those problems and to avoid that delay, it's important that everyone that needs some sort of relief to contact the bank and discuss that relief with them. So that's one piece of information that you need to send to your family, friends and clients. The other piece of information that you probably want to attach to that is recently, we look at, you know, close to, I would say anywhere between 50 and 80 reports per day. We assess these reports, you know, on behalf of brokers across the country. You know, we have 15,000 on our database, so you can imagine the amount of reports that we do get in. What we've been seeing is we've been seeing a trend of people applying for zip pay / afterpay type of accounts. And what that is, of course, is people are going out, rushing out to department stores and buying things and taking things home and paying later. It's like a lay-by type of setup, but we've seen an increase in that. Now, the unfortunate thing is part of the Equifax algorithms, those types of inquiries are considered to be inquiries, how can I put it, you know, one of desperation, right? It's not like applying for $1 million home loan. It shows desperation, and Equifax aren't going to change those algorithms to suit today's climate. So those algorithms are still in place, and the adverse effects that these types of inquiries have on a credit file, and I'll give you an example. One of these zip pay inquiries or afterpay inquiries, you will lose anywhere between 100 and 150 points off your credit score straight away. right?
Wow, that's pretty serious.
That is, and the recovery time, instead of being 3 months, now the recovery time is 9 to 12 months. Okay, and so we've been seeing a lot of reports with a lot of zip pay inquiries in March and April. And of course, people are not understanding why their credit score has dropped so dramatically. Okay, so that's another piece of information. The advice is, of course, is to steer away from same-day payday lenders and to steer away from zip pay and afterpay type of inquiries. Okay, these
Awesome.
can't be explained away. Equifax aren't going to change their algorithms to suit the current climate and current crisis. So therefore, this is useful information for all your clients, all family and friends moving forward. Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to leave it there because I need to get John.
Okay.
Two great takeaways there, guys. You got two pieces of communication right there from Jardine and Mariana at Credit Fix that you can send out to your clients straight away. Number one, no black mark as long as they communicate with their lender. And number two, don't run out and do Afterpay and Zip Pay and all that other stuff. So well done, guys. Thank you for that update. And I'll be looking to you guys to continue providing that intel for us, because I think credit files during this time frame are going to get pretty dicey. So it's something we're going to want to keep an eye on.
Sure.
So
We'll
where's
share
John?
the information through emails, PJ.
Okay, yeah. Just
Can I just say one last thing? Take me 5 seconds, PJ.
5 seconds, go.
Mariana Maroon, she's our New South Wales BDM.
Hello, everyone.
And so you'll be seeing her face to face when all of this crisis is over.
Yeah.
Feel free to contact Mariana moving forward for any credit reporting needs for your clients.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Mariana. Welcome on board. All right, where's John? John, over to you. What's happened at Victorian Mortgage Group?
Great. Hi, everyone. Good to be back virtually in touch with everyone. Unfortunately, we have to wait a little while before we can see you all again in the flesh. Thanks to the whole of the IFBF again for putting this on. This is really a great innovation, and I think everybody appreciates it. What's happening in VMG? Look, we're really excited with our positioning at the moment. These are really severely hard times for many. We're experiencing a huge influx of scenarios, deals coming in for VMG. We are very proud that this is not our first rodeo. VMG has been going for 74 years. We've seen these types of situations before. Not me personally with VMG, but the company and some of our core team have been through this before. And we tend to shine in these times because we are here to help. Our policies in general have not changed. Whilst many around us have had to adjust and pivot in this current environment, we are essentially unchanged. We still do what we've always been doing. We are still providing plenty of funding. We are geared up. We have lots of money to lend. And the only areas we've really pulled back on is prior to COVID, we were already very much full book on construction. And that's still the case. So we're still unable to really do any construction at the moment. And with COVID, we've paused any possibility of squeezing any construction in. That is not inclusive of renovations. So let's say a client wants to get some funds out, 150,000 to do a veranda on their ranch style home. Even if that's a fixed price building contract, we will still help them. So we do not class a home improvement contract as construction. We will still do the progressive drawdown payments. We are unchanged on our rates. We have not loaded up anything on our impaired credit clients. We are still not scoring arrears, dishonors, overdrawn credit cards, low credit score. We ignore all of that still. We've not loaded up investors, professional investors. Nothing has changed. No rate changes at all, which has pretty much put us ahead of the pack. by default, by not moving, we are very, very well positioned to help those clients that are in desperate need. We are still assessing on the basis of serviceability being evident. We are not able to, unfortunately, accept any JobKeeper income because it is temporary and it's still a lot of uncertainty for the future. So we do need to see a normal serviceable income to be able to move forward and help customers. In lieu of that, if you do have a customer who looks very strong and they are temporarily affected for servicing by COVID, if they were great before the COVID started, then they'll be great again after COVID. What we are doing for those customers and for our brokers is we are able to issue a indicative approval with no date, saying we will help you, we've got your back, we would like the deal, but once we get through this shitstorm, technical term, we will help you sort it out, we'll help you consolidate, we'll help you pay your tax out, we'll help you do what you need to do. So common sense and logic prevails with VMG. We are fast being known as the lender of choice for common sense and sensibility. And what else can I say? Look, we're doing a lot of good business at the moment, and we're really still, our service, as I mentioned, our service standards have not changed. We're still turning deals around quickly. We had one the other day come in at 9:30. It was allocated to an analyst at 10:30, and I had a conditional approval at 5:30. So that's extraordinary turnarounds, given that we are experiencing a big influx, and we are really here to help. The other thing that's changed with us is that anything over 70%, we will limit cash out to 50,000. Up to 70% will still do full cash out. So we are seeing some clients who are benefiting in this environment, purchasing and taking advantage of some lower prices. So we've seen a few of those come in. We still do non-coded loans, company trust borrowers, providing it all makes sense. There's one at the moment I'm doing, which is facilitating the extension of a nursing home by building a new wing. And we're using residential properties to facilitate that. And Credit have come back with thumbs up and said, yep, no problem.
Great. So if I'm hearing you loud and clear, you're open for business. You got plenty of dough.
Yep.
You're exercising common sense. That's good, because there's not a lot of that around at the moment. And your turnaround times are really quite good, which is huge, because a lot of lenders have blown themselves up big time with turnaround. So very good. Any final last thing, maybe a niche that, because Dilek's not back on yet, so I'm not sure. She's probably frantically working away, adding slides, throw down the gauntlet earlier.
There she is. The biggest area we're keen to help is with those that need to consolidate, tidy up some credit cards, tidy up some personal loans, pay out some tax debt. All of that tidy up stuff will go 80%. Now, that's exceptional when you think about it. The reason we're limiting cash out at above 70% is because we're seeing evidence that the market is sliding, and the percentage of loans that are going over 80% is increasing. So that's not good for a book, and we do have to manage that, and we are doing that by restricting cash out. However, those that need some help and they do service, we will do 80%, and we already recognize and know that it's very likely that that will creep over 80%, and we'll wear that. We're also providing full trail to customers that have been affected to our brokers, so that's also another great thing.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you as well, John, and to Victorian Mortgage Group for sponsoring us and supporting it, the IFBF. We really appreciate it. So let me just, Dilek, you're ready to go. Give me the thumbs up. Yep, you're good. Okay, just a reminder to everyone that directly after this meeting, we will be serving lunch in your kitchen. So just wander into your kitchen after the meeting and make yourself a sandwich and a cuppa and enjoy lunch on the IFBF. Dilek, you're unmuted. Part two, so how to approach referral partners, which I know has always been a bugbear for a lot of brokers, making and building those referral relationships. So take it away, Dilek.
All righty, now I'm going to share my screen again. Where is it? Here we go. Share screen. Oh, here we go. Myself on the side over here. Can everyone see that okay?
Definitely, yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, as you know, I'm a big fan of referral partnerships, and I've covered some of these things before, but now, again, it's even more important and very timely. So people that you may have reached out to before who weren't really interested might be interested all of a sudden, because there are people like accountants, lawyers, all sorts of advisors that are probably wanting more content for their clients, which they can't cover themselves. So what I'm going to go through is the importance of building those relationships, setting up referral partners, creating a referral pod, which I've mentioned again and again, which I don't think a lot of people are still doing. It's one of the best things you can do, in my opinion. And then content, because let's face it, there's no point doing a referral partnership and then giving them no content to promote you, which is again what happens a lot. People say, hey, will you refer people to me? And then they give them nothing. And so then they wonder why they're not getting referrals. And then the call to action, again, so many people put out content and there's no call to action. People are not going to act until you tell them what to do. And then follow up. Again, the biggest downfall of most lead generation in any form is the lack of follow up. So that's what I'll cover today. And I know I've only got 10-15 minutes, so I'm sure I'll use up that full time this time. Alrighty. So we all know that relationships are gold. Sometimes you have to mine for that gold. Sometimes you have to go and meet with a few different people to work out exactly who you want to have that relationship with. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, you want to have referral partnerships with people that you like and you get along with. Don't do it just because they happen to be in your area. It has to be someone that you respect and you like and you trust them. That's a big factor. Trust and respect are, paramount. Alrighty, so how do you go about coming up with these referral partnerships? As you know, I'm a big advocate of planning. Plan as much as you can, map things out, and then do the implementation. Don't go head first and then think, oh no, I'm not prepared. It's way better to have the ducks in a row, be prepared, and then approach people knowing everything's ready. If you go to someone and say, hey, can I email your database? And they say, sure, and you haven't even got it ready, how's that going to look? If you're like me, you can do that very quickly, but most people can't. So have things ready and in place. So first of all, you've got to decide who are you going to reach out to. Now, you've got to be realistic in how many people you can liaise with. I had one person that I was helping a little bit, just with some strategy, and she basically sent out a massive blast to every accountant in New South Wales. And I had actually said to her, do not do that. Because how personal is that? Do you think someone in Wagga Wagga is going to want to be a referral partner to you necessarily? I don't know why I came up with Wagga Wagga. Love you, Wagga Wagga. But you have to be mindful and realistic. How many referral partners can you manage and liaise with? Because people aren't going to just put you on as a referral partner willy-nilly. You've got to spend time and energy and potentially some money building and fostering that relationship. So do not just go in a spray and pray approach. Do not do that. And sure enough, she did that. And about a week later, I said, how did you go? And she said, oh, nothing. And I'm like, surprise, surprise, I was right. Anyway, so you get it. Be very mindful of how many relationships you can handle and who you really want to reach out to. So if you're not sure who to reach out to, think about who do your prospects buy from before and after your services, and who else is targeting your prospects. The second thing is outreach. So people say, oh, I'd like to get an accountant as a referral partner. And then I'm like, have you actually contacted anyone? How have you contacted them? So I find LinkedIn is one of my favorite tools in connecting with people. And as you know, I teach LinkedIn, and the first step, or the second step in getting a referral partner, is the outreach. The first point of contact, I love LinkedIn, but rather than just sending them a connection request, actually do a personalised message. If you just do a straight out request without a message, it's not as likely to be well received. If you do a really nice connection request, and I've got some scripting for that from before, I can send that through, you're going to get more chances of that actually being received well.
I feel like your ride is here.
It's from the street. I'm out of here. And then once they've accepted it, be very quick to reply and do an outreach message to arrange a call or online video call. Because you've got to say something like, you know, thank you for accepting my friend request or connection request. It'd be really great to have a chat. I see that you're doing blah, blah, blah. Make it personalized. Don't make it generic. I'm not a fan of the blasts that go out that are generic because everyone can see them. If something looks generic and not personalized, I generally will not reply. And I think most people will like that. Whereas if you actually take the time, because it's worth taking the time to get to know them, actually take the time to look at their profile, look at their posts, say something relevant and complimentary. Who doesn't like someone saying, hey, I saw blah, 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 it looks amazing, looks like you do great work. Who doesn't like that? So be thoughtful in how you're outreaching. Don't be spammy. My pet peeve is spammy messages. Okay, so if you're lost for who to team up with, here's a list. Real estate agents, accountants are my favorite, outsourced CFOs, bookkeepers, financial planners, investment property advisors, buyers agents and lawyers. They're the typical referral partners. And what I say all the time is, why don't you create a referral pod? So rather than dealing with 10 accountants, which you can have, why don't you start off with a referral pod where you pick one of each of the services that tie in with what you're offering. So pick one from each referral partner type and actually make this an ongoing relationship as a group. Create a Facebook group, stay in touch, share content, news, info, have some video chats, and then take turns in conducting joint presentations and webinars and whatnot. And that way you've created this beautiful ecosystem of referral partners who are all working together. And basically, you can't just say, hey, send me referrals and not do anything for them. So this is your chance to reciprocate and actually add value to your clients as well. So no one would really want just a one-way, partnership. Everyone wants to have some input and some benefit. It can't just be, oh, I'll help you out just by giving you content. So what? They can get that content from anyone. So really think about it from their perspective as well. Most of the time people are thinking about, what can you do for me? Switch that around. What can I do to help you? What can I do to help your clients? And how can I reward you for that? Not everyone can have referral commissions. So if someone can't accept referral commissions, find other ways of rewarding them. Not everyone's driven by money. All right, and if you want to go outside of that pod, you can then look at some local people. And this is more relevant when it's not COVID, but you can actually say, for example, there's a hairdresser that's not working at the moment. They might want to do some kind of webinar to help their clients and stay in touch with them for some reason. So it could be any of these kind of clients as well. So there's no shortage of people you can team up with. It's just a matter of being clear on who you want to team up with and actually making the effort to get to know them and helping them out. Now, as I said, there's no point setting this up and then not having some kind of strategy on how you're going to approach their clients or how you're going to help them approach their clients about you. So have your content ready. And I've mentioned before that content is actually one of the easiest things you can come up with. There's another book called The 1 Hour Content. I think it's called The 1 Hour Content Plan. I'll take a snapshot of that as well. So content's very easy, and I'll talk about content quite a bit. So think about the content that's relevant right now. So that's a good starting point. It doesn't have to be content for the whole year. Just think about it for about a month. What would be some good content pieces you could do, even if you schedule something once a week? That's only 4 pieces of content. That's not a lot of work. And like I said, you can take inspiration from what's already out there by the lenders, the aggregators, the general media, the actual, not the fake news media, but reputable companies. And then decide on a call to action. If you're not clear on a call to action, it's going to go nowhere. So be very clear on your client journey, which is something I've spoken about quite a bit before. know your client journey and what you want to take them through. If you have that mapped out very basically just in bullet points, where to from when they say, you know, when you have the webinar to what happens next, do they get an email, do they get a message? Have that mapped out. It's just in dot point, and at least you know where you want this content to lead to. And then helpful content, very easy. Here's a list of it. Again, you can find a dime a dozen of these to draw inspiration from and customize it with your own opinion. You can even just put your opinion on a recent media release that's come out. Like when the government says, here's the latest thing that we're doing, you can just share that and then give your opinion and outline who it's useful for and how you could help. So that's a good way of not having to come up with your own content. So call to action, map out your client journey. What do you want them to do? How many steps does it take before you want them to get on a phone call? Are they going to visit your website? Is your website up to scratch? Do you want them to attend an event, in which case is an online event? Do you want a video series that you've pre-recorded? If you're not confident in front of the camera that much, it might be that you pre-record them so you have time to redo the videos or edit them as well. And if you're not comfortable doing webinars, what I find very useful is whoever the host is, for example, your referral partner, you could just make it a Q&A. Most people are way more comfortable with a Q&A scenario than a straight out presentation like what I'm doing. As you know, I'm used to doing presenting, so I'm okay, but not everyone is. So if you're kind of camera shy, it's easier to turn things into a Q&A because I know you know your stuff, and if you know those questions beforehand, you can prepare for the answers and have them on a screen, on a slideshow. And if you're really stuck, you can just read out, you know, what you're doing, but just don't read like this, because I'm not good. Just have bullet points as a memory jogger like I do. And then, yeah, joint, oops, there's a typo there. Joint webinars are awesome because it really takes the pressure off if you're not the only one presenting. And it turns into like an easygoing conversation. You open up for comments like PJ's doing. If you're not really great with technology, get your referral partner who you're collaborating with to run the event for you. So then you don't even have to think about it. All you have to do is know when to talk and when to share your screen. So there's really no excuse. It's so easy. There's no excuse. Am I right, everyone? No? Okay.
Of course you are, Dilek.
I'm always right. So the
Careful, you're about to get muted again.
Very funny. The follow-up, oh my God, I can't tell you, this is the biggest pet peeve that I've got. I've said it time and time again, it doesn't take just one piece of follow-up. It takes 12 to 15 different contact points before people act. And at the moment, they'll probably act sooner than that, but you can't have it in your mind that you're only going to follow up a few times. And some people are like, I don't have time to follow up. Well, you can actually automate most of it through your CRM system. Or if you've got an assistant at work or you've got some other staff or some other person, you can make it part of their job that they help with the follow-up. It's not that hard to send an email once a week or a text message when you want to tell them something. It's not hard to do follow-up because I think the statistic is even 70% of salespeople where it's actually their job to do sales, 70% don't do the right follow-up. And people are stuck at home, so now's the perfect time to do the follow-up because they don't have as many meetings, they've got more time on their hands, so do not ignore the follow-up. And have a CRM system. What's the point of someone sending your webinar or video or email to 300 of their database, 100 people opt in, and they're not added to your CRM and then it goes nowhere? That's going to make you look really bad to your referral partner, and it's not going to look good for people that are opting in. So have a CRM system. My favorite for small business owners is ActiveCampaign. Some people have MailChimp, that's fine too, but I prefer ActiveCampaign. It's not that hard. If you don't know how to set it up, you can outsource that. Probably Upwork is a good place to outsource that, not necessarily Fiverr, because if it's not set up properly, you can have problems down the track. But CRM systems are pretty crucial if you're going to have referral partners, because you also want to track where those referrals came from. And if you don't have a proper tracking system, then how are you going to know what's happened and who's giving you good referrals and who you're going to reward? And as I've said, ongoing communication. It's not a one-off. You've got to stay in touch and front of mind with everybody. They may not be ready right now, but once once the corona crisis is over, they might be ready. And if you're not front of mind, then you might plant the seed in their mind to go and do refinancing, but then you haven't stayed in touch, they're going to go to their bank. So if you're going to make the effort of telling them what to do, and then you're not there in the process of when they're ready to do that action, you're going to lose the client and waste all your time and money. And I've already talked about follow-up. Alrighty, now in terms of questions, does anyone have any questions about referral partnerships? Has anyone had problems with it? Because I'm happy to troubleshoot any problems.
Guys, I am still here. My camera battery just went out, but I am still here and listening intently and watching. I'm just charging it. Hopefully I'll be back on in a few minutes.
Any questions?
So yeah, any questions for Dilek, guys? I will allow you to unmute yourselves. And while I'm doing that, one of the things I think is important about terminology, Dilek, is I actually don't like the word referral partner. I prefer the term or the relationship being a partnership relationship. So I think it's important that if you're going to approach somebody, that you actually should use more positive language, which is let's form a partnership as opposed to a referral. Because that, referral sounds like, as you mentioned in your presentation, Dilek, you've got to have a back and forth thing, and maybe there's some money involved, but there doesn't have to be, right? You could just have a partnership, and it could be a one-way partnership. You might add value to someone's client base simply by being a trusted advisor or providing information or whatever, and they may not want anything from you, but that's a really powerful word to use when you're approaching people. So anyway, you can all take yourselves off mute. So just please jump in, try not to talk over each other, and off you go. Any questions for Dilek?
Good point, PJ, I agree.
Dilek, they're numb with excitement.
Okay. Does anyone have a referral pod? Why was that pod turned?
Now something, sorry Dilek, I just thought I'd jump in because if you guys aren't looking at the chat, hopefully you are, Warren has just mentioned that, of course, just as a reminder that Meridian is doing their lunch and looks like dinner learning sessions now. And I suspect that, if anybody wanted to reach out to Warren and say, look, how can we put together one of these and do it on Zoom? Again, you can promote it as, food is provided. You just have to bring it yourself from your own kitchen. I think that would be an awesome experience, and it would just give you the opportunity to engage with clients. So, check the discussion out, guys, and email or reach out to Warren and put those things together.
Thank you, PJ. If I could just have a minute on that. We thought that it was going to be a catastrophe, I have to say. We had, just prior to this COVID-19, we had about 7 Dine and Learns booked with some of the IFBF members. So we tried with somebody who is a little younger in all of this, not one of the boomers like me. And they said, look, let's try and do one via Zoom. It was just purely the reports in terms of what BIS Oxford Economics and SGS Economics were forecasting for property pricing down the line, how to identify which properties will be affected, which ones won't, and just to take questions of anxiety. I mean, that was all it was all about. It was really just to let people know that there are better ways of looking at this at the moment. And it's very easy, as my recent video went out, it's very easy to quote Warren Buffett in saying when people are fearful, be greedy, and when people are being greedy, be fearful. But it takes a lot of courage to make that move. But so we threw out that Dine to Learn on that line. Is this a time to be greedy? And we were astounded at the results. And it was just really a case, it really started off as a mental health exercise. Let's just have a chat. I don't care what you want to chat about anything. Chat about your cat. Chat about what you're having for dinner. It's really started off as it's nice to keep staying conversations during these difficult times. But they said, no, look, let's direct this as a Dine and Learn session. and just talk through what the experts feel about all of this. And it was absolutely brilliant. It's only been one, so don't get me wrong. We've only did one last week, but we didn't think that it was going to be possible. But if I can assure you, if you are wanting to give your clients something to do and something positive to listen to, they are not difficult to organize, and we strongly feel that they'll be as successful as the first one.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Warren. And I think, guys, that's a great opportunity. You know, like we're all sitting at home right now, and you've got a lot of time on your hands. And I know there's a lot of distractions, you know, maybe do the laundry and do some cleaning, whatever. But really, you know, when you're at home and you're during working hours, you should be devoting the working hours to doing things that are productive. And you're going to have clients and other people that are in similar situations and will be seeking an outlet during the day. And all of a sudden now they'll have more time during the day because, of course, their employers probably aren't monitoring every last thing they're doing. So avail yourself of these opportunities. One other thing, Dilek, that I wanted to mention too, and please, guys, if you do have questions, just raise your hand, take yourself off mute or whatever. But when you actually go to a referrer or a partner now, as I'm phrasing it, should you just go in and sit down and say, you know, well, what do you need me to do, or how can I help? Or should you go in there with a specific agenda, like I specialize in equipment finance, I specialize in investment property in SMSF or whatever? How should you approach it, Dilek?
That's a very good point. I did actually forget to talk about the niches. So in terms of the number of referral partners you can have, this is where the niches come into play. So say, for example, you're niching into investment property people, then you could potentially go in with that to accountants that are doing property. So that way you can actually have more than a few in one category by doing the niching. So niching is actually a really good way to go about it, because then it's very specific. So you could do both. You could have one where it's a general one, and then you can have a few that are very specific. It really depends on your time and the content that you've built out. So if you're already clear about your niches and you have those funnels or streams set up, then you can run multiple of those, definitely. If you're currently a bit generic, you could start with one generic one, and then this is a good way to build out your niches and bring in some of those niche-specific referral partners. I keep saying referral. Bring in those JV partners.
Stop doing that. Yeah.
Joint venture partners is good because it's not a partnership where they're going to put their house on the line. So I would do both, to be honest, because basically then you've covered all your bases. You've got the generic for any kind of loan or finance, and then you've got your very specific ones that are going to help build out. This is a good time to build out your content for the niche specific target audience as well. So that's a great point. Thanks.
So does everyone, I just want to make sure that everyone understands niching, right? Because this is something that I've certainly learned in the last couple of years being involved in some business accelerators. And it is that you go in with a very specific, sorry guys, I don't know what my camera's doing, but anyways, you go in with a very specific topic to say, I specialize in this thing. And that's just going to drive me nuts. I specialize in this one thing. And it doesn't mean that you don't do other things, right? You can offer all of your services, but you can't just go into a potential partnership and sort of just have a general conversation. You know, I think the best thing to do is distinguish yourself as being an expert in one thing, because then you can be the expert in that one thing, and the other things will just come along. They will happen. So does everyone sort of get that, I guess? Nod, something? Anyone want to jump in? Yeah, okay, good. We're getting a few nods. A few of us look like we have fallen asleep. That's okay.
Specific on who you want to team up with as well. That's a very good way of selecting who you team up with.
Yeah, for sure. So for example, you know, if you were to approach someone like let's just say a financial planner, right? I think everyone in this, in our organization, and certainly in this room right now, should have a relationship with a financial planner now more than ever, because A, you can add value from the mortgage and debt side of things. And B, you're going to have clients that are probably wondering what's going on, how do they access super. You might even be getting some questions like that right now from clients saying, how do I get that $10,000, or should I get that $10,000? Now, all of you should know that you cannot provide advice on that, and you probably shouldn't be saying anything about it. You should be able to say, well, I can't really speak to that, but I have a financial planner who I'm happy to refer you to, and get them to talk to that person. So anyway, sorry guys, my camera's gone totally bonkers on me. Cool. Any other questions, guys, for Dilek? Steve?
So just to share something.
Question.
Yeah, no, there is a question. There's a question at the end of it.
Of course there is.
So Dilek is a big fan of Facebook, and I have to agree with her. I think it's fabulous. It's a great way to stay in touch with clients. It's a fantastic way to find out when things happen in the life of your client. So they have birthdays, they have babies, they have wedding anniversaries, and sometimes, sadly, obviously, they have deaths in the family. But here in the Hills district, so this is Castle Hill, Beaumont Hills, blah, blah, blah. A Facebook page or group was created called the Dads of the Hills. Now, I know that's very sexist, but it's Dads of the Hills.
There's plenty of women's groups, don't worry.
yeah, well, I mean, there's plenty of women's groups. And I know that young Eddie, who's on here today, he's part of that group as well. Now, so if brokers were wanting to set up that type of thing, because I think it just creates community and it makes you known in your community. How do you go about it?
Okay, a really good starting point is to start with your immediate network. The good thing about groups, like I mentioned about my own personal experience with the dancing one, is that if you start with a small group, but then you tell them this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to cover, invite your friends, it grows very quickly. If each person in your little group that you already know, say 10 people, invite up to 100 people each, I'm not kidding, one of them has gone down her friends list and invited 500 people. Like, it happens very quickly in groups because you can just tick, invite people. And even if they don't join, every time that person does something in the group, the invited person will see their post as well. So it may look like it's a small group to start with. Like at first I had 10 people, but then I looked at the reach because you've got stats on your groups. That's the great thing about it. You can actually look at the stats and see which posts are getting more engagement, what your reach has been. It grows very quickly. I went from 10 to 50 in 1 week. And that's a dancing group. Not everyone's going to be dancing on video. Like, if I can grow...
Guys, and that was a great question, Stephen. Thank you for that. Just so everyone knows, I do not know my camera's doing that, but sorry about that. Just so everyone knows, in my little webinar that I was talking about, my communication hacks, I did talk about a Facebook group that I created for my clients. I call it the boardroom, but you could call it whatever. It's for my financial planning clients. And I would strongly suggest each and every one of you have a group specifically for your client base. That would be very special. They would feel loved. They would feel like they're getting value. And you obviously have to post content. You can't just set it up and then do nothing with it, but they will eventually learn to go there for information and communicate with you. So really give it some thought, guys. It's not hard to do at all. Okay, so any final questions or comments? Dilek, go ahead.
I'll say one more thing. The interest groups work really well, where it's not just about you. So the existing clients is fantastic. Definitely do that. But what I find as well is the interest groups work very well. When it's an interest related one, like the Dads of Castle Hill, when it's an interest related one, people add their friends straight away. So definitely have one that's business focused, and then think of one that's interest focused based on your target market. If you're targeting high end and you've got a fancy sports car as an example, which is what one of my friends did before, you can create a Mercedes Lovers of Castle Hill, something random like that. The interest groups work very, very well, and you can find a lot of content to post in there as well. They do take time, like PJ mentioned, they do take time and energy, but it's well worth it. You get to connect with your exact ideal clients and have people promoting you without realizing they're promoting you.
Thank you, Dilek. Now, I guess, and guys, you can either shoot it into the, put it into the group chat, or you can email us separately, whatever. But is that something that you would like to have a separate webinar on, just doing those sorts of things, how to set that up, how to, engage your clients and do that sort of stuff? Would that add any value? You can just pop that in. I see I got a thumbs up from Pete. Yep, fantastic. Give us a thumbs up, put it in the chat, whatever, because the cool thing, and I'm just going to wrap us up here because lunch is being served in your kitchen, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on that. But we do have this wonderful platform now of Zoom, and we've maintained a pretty steady flow of about 40 participants in this meeting, which is phenomenal. And first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone for sticking around and for being here today. This is super important for us to stick together as a community and a group and do this. And the IFBF, we want to know what you want us to help you do, and the content from all of our resources that we can provide you in these sorts of meetings. So please reach out and let us know. If you don't tell us, then I'm just gonna ask the steering committee, and a group of 6 or 7 or 8 people are gonna come up with the stuff that we do every month. So I wanna know from you guys what you want us to help you get better at, and that's what this is all about. So any final, I'll just let everybody, I think you can all unmute yourselves. Any final questions, comments, or anything else, guys? And ladies? Yes, Steve, fire away.
I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but I understand that Leah Renwick from FBAA is currently undergoing a health challenge. I won't go any further than that. If you would, can I ask kindly that you send her a warm message of support, and just sort of, from you and from the IFBF, send her strength to overcome this battle that she is now on. So I just share that with you, and just ask you to send her a note, please. Send her an email.
Thank you, Steve. Any other final thoughts? Yeah, Warren, go ahead.
Yeah, look, I just wanted to give a bit of a shout out to Mr. Dinty. I referred him a client. In fact, she used to be my PA, a very, very tricky customer. But Steve sorted out her loan, managed to complete on the first homeowner's grant situation. And she spoke about Stephen as if he was Elvis Presley. So I just wanted to thank Steve for his great efforts with a very, very tricky customer. Thank you, mate.
Well done, guys. Well, I think this was a success today. And yeah, hang on, Steve. I think this has been a great success today, guys. I hope you agree. I do also hope that the next time we meet is actually in person. But sadly, I think we're going to have to do this a couple more times before it's all said and done. Steve, final thought. We are right on time, and I'm hungry. So
it was just being referred to as Elvis. I mean, he's dead.
And you're working on it. And we're all working on it, actually. So that's
it's
okay.
Still very popular, mate.
That's it. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to see all of you here and to have you here with us today. And I will look forward to our next encounter. Please do send us feedback. Tell me what you want us to do and what you want to hear about. Enjoy your weekend. To all of our Anzacs and everyone else, I don't know, you don't say happy Anzac Day, but have a great Anzac Day, and see you all soon, I do hope. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Pete. Bye, PJ. Bye, all.
Thank you, everyone, for your attention as well and for your engagement. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Bye, all.
Bye-bye.